Hi, this is Kari from Kari's Crafts. Today we are going to be working a small sample piece to learn how to work overlay mosaic crochet. There are other versions of mosaic. You can work inset, or there's knit and Tunisian and everything, but today we're just going to keep it simple and work overlay mosaic crochet. Now this looks a lot more complicated than it actually is, but if you can do a chain stitch, a single crochet stitch, and a double crochet stitch, you can work overlay mosaic. It's very simple. All it takes is some practice. So this is a piece we're going to be working on today, and I will put a link to the graph in the description. So anyway, most of my patterns do actually come with the written instructions, but it does help to know how to read the graph. So this is the graph we're going to be working on. I don't know if you can see these X's here, but most mosaic crochet graphs you will see have these squares, and you don't necessarily have to pay attention to which color is shaded in the box. Only on it just tells you which color to use in the row. It's one of the nice things about mosaic is you only use one color at a time. But you'll notice there's little X's in the boxes. So, or in some of the boxes. So in these boxes that are blank, you will work a single crochet in the back loop. And the boxes with an X, you're actually going to work a double crochet into the front loop of the stitch 2 rows below. So that essentially covers up whatever's in this row. So that's what makes the pattern. Now, I tend to work most of mine with a chain stitch, and that's to be able to work the border with post stitches. You don't have to do it with the chain stitch. You can do an extra border stitch if you want. So our border stitches are the only single crochets that are going to be working into both loops. Otherwise, we work all of the rest of them in the back loop only. So if you choose to do a different border other than the front post method, that I will have a video to that shortly. If you have the post ones, you'll start with a chain like this. Otherwise, just do an extra single crochet border stitch. So it's very, very simple. So to start, you're going to need 2 contrasting colors. You can use any colors you'd like. I'm just going to be using this pink and white. A lot of people use a DK weight or category 3. You can also use worsted weight. You could use a fingering weight if you wanted to, like a sock yarn. But you just need 2 contrasting colors. You're going to need some scissors and a crochet hook. Since I'm using worsted weight yarn, I'm using a size H or 5mm hook. But use whatever size hook is appropriate for your yarn. So anyway, so to begin with, I've already started with the first 4 rows, and you can see I started with the foundation I-cord, and you can see this is twisting a little bit. If you've watched my video on the foundation I-cord, I mentioned that I tend to do that a little bit tighter than I probably should, and I should go up a half size, but I didn't. So of course this is tighter than I wanted to, so it's twisting. So if you find that your work is twisting, maybe try going up a hook size. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Once you put on a border, it will even itself out. So yeah, if you find your work twisting, don't worry, it'll fix itself. So anyway, so I worked the first 4 rows already. So we are going to just start right in with our row 5. So in row 5, I'm going to be starting, it's the darker color, be starting with a border stitch and then a chain stitch. And when you work the chain, you're going to skip the one in the row below. You just chain it. And then we're going to be working 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets in the back loop. So we'll start with that, and then we'll start with doubles and stuff. So we're going to start with a standing single crochet. So we're going to create a slip knot on our hook. Now you don't need to leave a big end because, well, first of all, it's a sample, but even on a bigger piece, if you're going to, unless you're going to be doing a fringe, if you're going to be doing a double border, you don't need a long end because they're going to be hidden within that and cut short anyway. So save yourself some yarn and you don't need to leave a huge end. So anyway, so the border stitch, once you have your loop on here, your slip knot. My brain apparently cannot come up with the word slip knot today. Anyway, you're going to go in the border stitch, you're going to go through both loops of the end here. So you're going to go through there, just yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two to do your single crochet. So there's a standing single crochet stitch. You could also join with a slip stitch and chain and then do a single crochet, but it's simpler just to do standing single crochet. All right, so then we're going to chain, and then we're going to work into the back loops here. Now how many? I forgot already how many I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're going to go into the back loop here of the first stitch and work a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I am working these a little bit slow so you can see what I'm doing. If you need to speed it up, feel free. I won't be offended. So anyway, so now we are going to be working a double crochet stitch. In the chart here, we have 1 double crochet stitch indicated by the X. So now I have a little tip with the double crochets. You're going to yarn over. You're going to go under the loop here that's 2 rows below. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Now, a lot of people have a problem with this loop that they're into pulling up, and then it creates a huge gap. So what I do is I just put my thumb right on the bottom of the stitch there so it can't pull up, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that way this stays down and it doesn't get pulled up and it doesn't create a huge gap, which most of the time I find on my darker yarns it doesn't seem to show as much, but on the lighter yarns it does show if it pulls up. So just be mindful of that. So we are going to be alternating single crochet, double crochet. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We're going to alternate those. Okay, so we're going to do a single crochet and then work double into this next stitch. So I'm going to go in here, hold this down, yarn over, and complete the stitch. There we go. All right, so single, work a double, next one's going to be a single, and again a double, okay, so that's 3, I need 2 more. Single crochet and a double crochet, and 1 more. We're going to work a single and then a double. And then we have 7 singles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we are going to do a chain, and we're going to do a single crochet in both loops of this edge border stitch. So regular single crochet, and then we are just going to grab our scissors. And again, you don't need a huge long end. Just pull it through and tighten it. Now there are a ton of tails by doing this. There are ways of doing it without your tails, but don't worry, you don't need to weave in any ends. You can sandwich those inside of border, and we'll do that in a different video. So anyway, let's go with one more row of white just to show you again how to do this. So start with our slip knot. Okay. Go into both loops of that single crochet and do a standing single crochet. Of course, it doesn't want to do this on camera. Okay, so then we're going to do a chain, and I probably should look at the graph to see how many I'm doing here. Okay, so in row 6, we are doing 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and then we'll do a double crochet, single, and double. So 3 singles, and then double, single, double. Okay. So we will go into the back loop of this first stitch. And do 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do a double, oops, put that down, do a double, and then a single, and one more double, okay. One thing that also helps is to loosen your tension a little bit, because if you especially if you have a really tight crochet tension, you're going to end up accidentally pulling up this loop, which isn't the end of the world, but most people don't like the look of it going way up. So if you kind of loosen your tension while you're working the double crochet, it does help. All right, so now we will work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 single crochets. Okay. 1, 2, 3, whoops, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And again, we have a double crochet, single crochet, and double crochet. So work our double, and then a single, and then another double. All right, and then we're going to do 3 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then we will work our chain and then the border single crochet. Okay, our scissors, snip that off, and pull it through and tighten. Now if you find that when you're tightening it, or that your work is fanning up like this, you're probably pulling it to tighten up this way. If you pull down this way, then it doesn't do that. It keeps them all kind of this way. So anyway, so that's how you work overlay mosaic. So you just continue on working your graph, working in the boxes that have nothing in them. That's a single crochet in the back loop only. And then the X's are the double crochet in the front loop of the row 2 rows below. So thanks for watching.